All right. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Retac Airsoft's BBs on a Budget, where we're going to talk about stuff you can get when you're on a budget. So my name's Ryan. This is Dusty. This is Jay. I'll have you guys introduce yourselves and talk to the people.
All right, so I'm Dusty, Scarab. If you see me out on the field, it says Scarab on the nameplate, gamer handle. Recently got into Airsoft, and that's how I met these guys. That's how we ended up here on YouTube.
Yeah, Jay. So I'm Jay, at Mercury Airsoft on Instagram. I go by Mercury on the field or just like Jay. I've been playing since I was about 12 years old. Recently got back into the sport after I left, and so I ran into these two guys. So
awesome. And I'm just Retac Airsoft or Retac_Airsoft. I don't even know what my Instagram is. So just Instagram search Retac Airsoft and see what happens. So what we're going to be doing is talking about gear, right? We don't yet have a specific plan as far as what kind of gear we're going to talk about. We kind of briefly discussed what this was going to be. And then went our separate ways for like a week and a half or so. And now we've reconvened. And hopefully we'll capture the conversation here, talking about gear that each of us would get if we were on a certain budget, whatever that budget is. We're not entirely sure yet. I think we've discussed $150.
Yeah, right? 150 is what we started with first.
So $150 is pretty slim. Having an airsoft shop, I can tell you right now, it really limits somebody who's going to need a gun, who's going to need BBs, face protection, eye protection, possibly a battery or battery charger, maybe green gas, magazines, all that stuff. So what we're going to do is focus just on the basics that somebody would need to go out and play a day. And to do that, hopefully successfully without gear breaking. And hopefully they can have a good time doing that. So if anybody's interested in hearing our perspective, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, after we discuss what it is we would get, I think we're actually going to go out and get that gear. And then we're going to go put it on the field. We're going to play with it. We're going to reconvene back here after we've spent a day with that gear on the field, and we're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like. So I guess we'll just kick it off by saying, what have you guys looked at? What are you guys thinking? And if we're doing it for that $150 budget, what's out there potentially?
You want to go first, Jay, or you want me to?
Yeah, actually I will. So my perspective on it is something that he said, something that you can get for the day, right? Something you can get, have a good experience with, and possibly upgrade later on. But for the actual day, for the $150, it is not easy being able to get everything you possibly absolutely need to get started for $150 or less. I actually went over $6.99, and that's like literally the best I could possibly do to get everything.
$150. Just imagine if a kid is out there who wants to get in this, or even a dad who's just on a limited budget, they have $150. Mom and dad aren't pitching in $6. So if you're $6 over, I think we gotta tweak something.
Yeah, I can definitely tweak something. Look. So the truth is, I didn't want to go with the cheaper charger. I wanted the G&G charger. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
but I can definitely tweak it. But $6, I can get rid of $6. It's fine.
Well, one of the things
or what about a coupon? 10% off coupon, right? I give out coupons, 10% off. That would be able to extend somebody's budget. So if they're coupon clippers or whatever.
Well, the other thing I was thinking of though, so all right, you got a $150 budget. Ideal, say like a kid, teenager trying to earn some money, got $150. Like you say, mom, dad don't want to chip in whatsoever. They got to figure this out on their own. All right, you spend $150. How are you going to pay to get on the field if you spend all your money?
Oh, yeah.
So you might need to consider like A, where you're going to go play. And then 2, what's a day? Because, some fields have 4-hour windows. Some fields you have all day. Some fields are indoor. So you got to figure out, you got to look at pricing and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that I started to take into consideration when I was searching. And another thing I was taking into consideration is like, if you go with the ultimate cheap stuff that you find on Amazon, or even some of the cheap stuff that you can find via other sites, if it doesn't make it through the day, are you going to continue to play? Exactly. Or maybe, okay, you got $150. You know it's going to be tight to do this. Do you put in the little extra effort, stave off the instant gratification, try and save up a little bit more money to get the better quality stuff that we'll eventually talk about as we go through this episode and future series and stuff like that? Like, where's the trade-off? Because, yeah, you want to get out there and sling BBs, but are you going to risk your fun and future in the sport because you end up spending all your money on cheap stuff?
There you go.
So
true story.
I love that, man.
And depending on where you go, I know, there's an outdoor field near us here. It's $18 to get out for the day. If you do a night game, it's $20. So you're going to have to factor that in. Where are we going to play? Are we going outdoors? Or are we going indoors to play?
I built mine for Fighter Town.
So outdoors, Fighter Town.
I built mine for Fighter Town.
And in case you don't know, if you're in Arizona, Fighter Town, in El Mirage, Arizona, props. That's
our home field, pretty much.
That is pretty much our home field.
Another thing I noticed too when looking this up is I was checking the FPS on some of these guns. The lower end guns, so that you can get all your Face Pro and all that stuff. Fighter Town max 400, indoor VIP 350. Some of these lower guns, you're lucky if you can get to 300.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing to consider too, is like, now that you know where your limitation of your weapon is, maybe that's where you factor in, okay, I need to go indoors because I'm not going to have the ability to reach anybody on some of these fields.
If you are able to try both, though, try both. If you are in that position, I know this is bowling on a budget, but if you're able to do both, try it. You might think you like outdoor, and then you go try a CQB, and that's your thing. So if you're able to, try like both.
Now, that's something good to bring up also, right? Because if you think you're going to like CQB and you buy a CQB gun like the ARP9 or something along those lines, are you going to have as much fun outdoors with that gun? Or should you have played it safe with standard M4 style? Or should you have gotten a pistol and saved your budget? Because all these things are on the table, right?
Yeah.
Pistols are on the table.
Shotguns.
Anything at all within this budget to have a good time and go out and hopefully be able to play an entire day, hopefully make it even more than that, because ideally we want people getting into this hobby and getting into this sport to stay in it, right? So we want to make sure that we're trying to get pretty good gear that they can go out, they can be a part of the fun out there, participate all day, and hopefully continue to participate afterwards. So I think we could probably start talking about options as far as guns, right? We kind of already segued into that a little bit. So let's talk about guns alone that maybe can come in under $150. Now, obviously keeping in mind that we're going to have to save money to be able to get on the field that first day. We're going to need all the accessories, right? We're going to need Face Pro, iPro,
battery charger,
all that stuff, right? But for right now, let's talk about guns potentially that could be under $150. What are you thinking?
You want to go first and say what you picked?
If my phone would cooperate and let me.
We're doing it on the fly. No technology, huh?
Well, the problem is I forgot to take my notes. So one of the guns I found was a Double Eagle 5.52 full-size airsoft, but it's a lower power electric rifle. Comes in at $69 without the flashlight, or you can get a flashlight. Whether these attachments really work on this gun, I don't know. There's not a lot of information looking it up. $69 gun. I think the FPS is around 250 max. Not great for outdoors, but rifle. It's not a longer rifle. I think the magazine that you get holds like 40 rounds, but it came with a battery and battery charger included in the kit. That's one of the things that I noticed when looking at some of these lower cost rifles is it doesn't always tell you what battery it comes with. So you might be, if you go that option, you might not be able to upgrade your battery later like you could with some of the more expensive rifles. Like I said, I don't know what kind of battery charger comes with this, but you can cut some of your expense on this by, okay, got a gun, it comes with the battery, comes with the battery charger for $69 and some tax.
Is that me?
So yes, that's you for the timer.
Good Lord. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
We're gonna have to cut the video so that we can come back because I think this video is gonna cut off at some point.
All right, so I found Double Eagle 5.52 full-size airsoft rifle coming in at $69 with the option I chose, which was with no flashlight. When I was looking this up, it comes with a couple different options. Whether these options work or not, I have no idea. That's the unfortunate thing about how I was searching all of this stuff. It doesn't give you a lot of information. But it's $69 for the rifle, low price. I think it's like 250 max FPS. So, and I don't know how much you can get in and upgrade this, but I think it's like polymer gear. So might not be the longest lasting rifle, but it might wet your whistle enough that, yeah, I want to do this and continue on doing it, save up money, get a better rifle. But the one thing I really liked about this rifle was it came with a battery charger. So that right there, $69. Now all I need to worry about is BBs, face mask, field charge. I don't really have anything else to worry about, but I don't know anything about the battery. In the listing, it doesn't give me very much detail about what kind of battery it is, how long these batteries will last, how it's like a wall charger. So, I mean, it could be just, could be 4 AA batteries strapped together that you slap into the magazine. And I think the capacity was like 40 rounds. Not a lot, considering what some of the magazines we've been used to playing with, but like just if you really get into the milsim kind of stuff, then you are already starting to work on ammo limit, which is taken into consideration on a lot of milsim stuff. But that's way down the line. If you're just trying to get into it, you're just trying to get through the day. That's what I found rifle wise.
All right. So there's, a lot to consider there too, right? He had mentioned only 40 rounds. So typically, an M4 style rifle is going to come with about 100 to 130 rounds, depending on the manufacturer. So that's on the lower end capacity wise, right? When he was talking about batteries, there's options as far as batteries. You can have nickel metal hydride, which is pretty typical, I think, on some of the kits that are all inclusive.
Yeah.
They don't, they're not the pinnacle of engineering right now, electrical engineering and technology, right? But they'll get you in the game and they'll do the job.
Exactly.
And that, kind of technology is still used in, RC cars on the entry level side of things and a whole bunch of other things. But lipos, will offer you a lot more time, a lot more game for your battery. So if you can figure out a way to work that in over having a NIM battery, you're going to get a lot more playtime with that single battery. And that's something to consider too, is if you only get one battery, how long are you going to be able to play? And that's going to be a big restrictor for us, because if I get one with a lipo and Jay gets one with a lipo and you get one with a nickel metal hydride battery, we're still going to be playing 3 hours later and you're going to be like, oh, I got to plug it into the charger, right? So
nickel metal hydrides take also longer to charge too than a lipo does.
They do. Lipos tend to charge in 2-3 hours sometimes, depending on the capacity of the battery. So that's something to consider too, right? So we'll come back. We'll come back to that. I want to hear Jay's idea as far as what maybe he can get for under that $150 budget.
The gun that I started with was a Simus Sport M4 carbine with a 10-inch key mod handguard. It comes with a Tamiya connector. It's all nylon. It's nylon fiber. It comes with a metal gearbox shell and metal gears, but the internals, like the piston, are plastic teeth. The motor is obviously not a very good motor, but I chose this because of the platform. It comes with a high capacity magazine. It comes with a crane stock. So you are able to put a bigger battery inside of the crane stock. I looked at some L pegs, and the reason why I chose not to go with an L peg was because recently we actually played against someone with one. He was on the opposite team, and it just didn't look like he could have been as competitive as some of us with some. If he would have spent an extra $20-$30 on something like this, and also magazine capacities, batteries. That's why I chose this.
And what is that? What kind of price point is that?
It's $101.
$101. And it does come with a battery, or it does not?
It does not.
It's just the gun for $101. So you have $49 to get on the field, to get BBs, to get eye protection, face protection, all that kind of stuff. Now, This is not our final pick. This is just brainstorming to give you guys some ideas. We're going to have to come in $150, not $150.01, $150 all in. All in if we can get out there. So you had mentioned LPEG. So low pressure, right? This is potentially going to be new to the sport, new to the hobby. So we've got to do better at explaining exactly what we're talking about. Gearboxes, all that kind of stuff. Let's try and explain a little bit. So, low pressure, like Dusty was saying earlier, you may not even hit that 300 FPS, which is feet per second mark. That's the velocity of your BB. Most standard AEGs are going to come in right around that 340, 350 for an indoor gun, 370 to 400, 415 sometimes for an outdoor gun.
Mine is actually right in the middle of that. It's 365 to 375.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
So if it does, I don't see if it comes with a quick change spraying system, but if it does, like I said earlier, you can go, try like both indoor and like outdoor if it actually does.
But one of the rifles I looked at in this, I think comes in right around the $100 range, 98, 99, was in that 400 FPS section. But, then like you said, we got to come in at 150. Well, at $100 for the gun and, Face Pro, BBs, and then like I said, field charge, I was like, whoa, this might be great to get up to 400 FPS. I mean, that's what we're used to playing at. We like to play, but, recently we had a new guy out at the field. All of this stuff that we're talking about, FPS, LPEG, all that stuff, doesn't mean anything. We need to be able to get him out on the field. He needs to be able to have a good time, get hooked into the sport, and then he can start doing that research. But I do like your choice because, like you said, you got metal gears and you have the option to do some upgrading. Where the rifle I found, you can get out there, you'll have some money to play with maybe afterwards, get a day or so out there. And that's another thing, my gun might be able to do if you do VIP, get indoors, get through your 4-hour thing, cool. Your gun with your LiPo probably get you through most of the day at the outdoor field on a full time frame kind of thing. Yeah. And that's another thing you got to consider too is as adults, we can go out there, we can set our schedule that I can go out there and play for 8 hours and make sure everything. This kid might mom might drop him off at 10. He might be picked up at noon. And that's all. So 2 hours to play. And so, again, being on a budget, we gotta figure out what we can do.
It's going to be tough. I'll tell you. So just to give everybody kind of a little bit of background, one of the entry-level packages that we offer here at Retac Airsoft starts at $249.99. That's the gun, BBs, goggles, a LiPo battery, and a charger as well. And this is, it's decent stuff that's going to last you. So the fact that we're trying to come in at $150 budget, all inclusive, is a much larger challenge than you could probably imagine. Yeah. So I think that's what kind of makes this fun too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So do you guys have any other ideas or options that you had mentioned? An LPEG possibly. Did you look at any to see if there were any? Because I know there are AKs that I've seen that retail for like $70, some of them, which would give you plenty of money to get good eye protection, which is important, some solid face protection, because these BBs will, do some damage to your face if you get hit. So you want to keep it covered and you want to keep it safe, and you don't want to skimp on the safety gear. I know it's not the most fun and the most exciting part of it, right? But it is going to be the most important, because you can't go out and have a good time if you're having a bad time because you got a BB lodged in your eye or something crazy. So, have you guys looked at less expensive options, or is this kind of the direction you guys are thinking about going?
So the reason why I did not choose LPEG was because I was trying to put myself inside the shoes of the actual player. And let's say someone actually does decide to go and play outdoors. When really, if they got an LPEG, they should go indoors. That's just my outlook on it. And if they want to go play outdoors and that LPEG gear stripped, whatever it is, the probability of something going wrong with that gun is a little bit higher, especially to a newer player. They might not understand the tolerances of that plastic. They might not understand just in general what this is even about. So getting something that could offer them a little bit more reliability I don't want to use the term idiot proof, but kind of kind of save your butt a little bit. That's why I chose to go with that. I did not skip out on lower face protection and or eye protection. Where I skipped out was battery. That's kind of where I skipped out.
Battery type
and charger.
So
That's why I skipped.
So that's something to consider too, right? The more you spend on a battery, the more capacity that battery is going to give you. Now, some of these platforms are going to limit you to the type of battery you can even have. A nickel metal hydride battery may come cheaply. Your gun may or may not facilitate it. It may not fit in the stock. You would mention a crane stock, right? Yeah. A crane stock typically will have 2 cavities on the left and right side that will go around your buffer tube and allow you to put batteries in there. So you can usually fit a big battery, but we're going to have restrictors. Budget's going to be a restrictor. The platform itself is going to be a restrictor. If it's a PDW style stock, you've got like 4 inches at best, so there's a lot really at play here. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what we all end up choosing. Now I've done a little bit of research, but I haven't gone completely into what gun yet. And the things that I've looked at kind of retail, the gun retails right around the $125 mark or so. That being said, that only gives me another $25 to be able to get iPro. iPro is like $20 in itself. You can find it for $15.
Let's get the ASG ones that I wear. Those ASG ones are I have not found a goggle in all my years of doing this that is at that price like point and has took that much abuse. I haven't found it. Those are the only ones that I found.
They're pretty great. But those come in at $25 retail. Yeah, they're $25. So
here's the thing we need to consider though. Most people that are going to be running at that $150 budget are probably going to be under 18. Almost every field full that face. I know has to have a full face protection.
That's right.
And that was another thing I took into consideration, not necessarily because it depends on what kind of full face protection you get, where you go shop for it, and all that other stuff. Because I've seen as low as $10, and who knows how much that's going to stop. Because I've used full face protection at paintball masks that, was a hand-me-down so I could get my stuff. And I've had BBs go through the face portion of it. I mean, it slows it down. Unfortunately, didn't hurt, didn't chip a tooth, any of that stuff. But the BB still made it through the plastic. But I've seen, like recently, because new player came in for a birthday group that we did, bought him a face mask. It was $30 for that Face Pro. And so, I mean, it's Face Pro is just like the guns. And I know right now we're talking about guns, but Face Pro price range is the same thing with the guns. It all over the board.
So what about homemade?
Oh, no. We're talking homemade guns or homemade eye protection. So, that's not even the thing we're going to talk about.
Not eye protection, lower face protection. Okay.
No.
Well,
this has to be.
Well, I did my homemade lower face.
Because, I can't imagine anybody who wants to get into this is going to be a DIY, I've got the time and, all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep it as simple as we can so that it can be readily purchased on, any online, or brick and mortar store, whatever the case may be. So it's got to be something, and we should have probably stipulated this before, but it's got to be something you have to walk in, you have to buy it. So tax is another thing to consider. And I'll be honest, $150 is hard to do. It is really, really hard to do. And the reality is this stuff just costs a little more money than that, unless you want to get something that maybe isn't going to last you very long. So,
well, that was the thing I was thinking of is like you mentioned taxes. Like I'm saying, Face Pro, getting all the gear, all that stuff. Yeah, $150 hard. What makes it harder for us, we weren't running on $150 budgets when we started going out there and on the field. So we've already started with higher quality equipment and stuff like that. And so Jay's got a little bit more experience than we do. So and then I get some of the general principles of all the stuff, and FPS was one thing I was considering because, like I said, I found a gun under $100 that'll hit 400 FPS. But if you're going to the indoor fields and you don't have a quick change system, then you're not going to be able to chrono to get into that field. And you might have just wasted your money on a field charge and not get to play because your gun won't let you because it's too hot.
The most valuable thing that actually you brought up, Dusty, and including the whole money thing was price of admission. That's really hitting hard on me, and that made me kind of switch. Do I really want to get the gun that I want to get? Because if we're sticking true to period $150 for the entire experience, something's got to change because that is completely valuable. Mom might be like, "No, I'm not giving you the $18. You already spent the $150."
Or your wife. It could be. This doesn't just have to be kids. It could be grown adults who are curious and want to get into this, but they only have $150 to spend because maybe they've got a newborn, or maybe they're saving up for a wedding, or maybe whatever the case may be, right? So $150, if we decide that 150 is where it's going to be, we're all going to have to make allowances somewhere. Whether it's on safety gear, this guy's going to end up leaving with no teeth, or whether or whether it's with the gun or the battery or whatever the case. But there's going to have to be an allowance made somewhere, and this is typically how it goes with any gun that you're going to buy, right? You've got to decide: do I want to spend more money and get the thing that I really fell in love with, or do I want to save some of that money and make a concession and maybe not get the gun that looks as cool, or maybe it doesn't have the recoil, impulse, or whatever the case may be, to get in the game, right? So that's going to be our challenge, and I think it's going to be interesting. But I'm curious to see what you guys end up choosing specifically. I know what I'd really like to choose, and I'm trying to figure out a way maybe to bend the rules to get it to work.
About it too.
But if we agree that $150 is the budget, then that is it, end all be all. And if we're including admission, right, which we probably should,
we should definitely.
Or should we encourage these people to save up a little more money because it's just not going to get you in the game the way that we think you should get into the game, and maybe save another month or another couple of weeks or another couple of paydays or whatever the case may be to be able to get up to that threshold. Like I said, I've got good quality packages that come in at about $250. It's really tough to get less than that. And there are prepackaged, like you were saying, right, where it comes with a battery and a charger already. A lot of those are metal gearboxes already, which is really good because they're going to last you. They're also going to be upgradable. So if things break, you can repair them or have them repaired. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I love this.
It's like we're on a roller coaster or something.
We are literally on a roller coaster.
An emotional roller coaster. All right, so we're back. We kind of discussed a little bit about just how tight this $150 budget was going to be and whether or not we were going to stick to it. We have mutually decided we are sticking to a $150 budget. We are not going above. And the reason is because Dusty's son, I asked him, hey, I said, if you wanted to scrounge together some money, how much money could you get together realistically to get into Airsoft and start playing? And he said maybe he could get in $150, right? So that's how we landed here, because this is reality. These kids, or whoever, $150 is maybe all you can come up with. So we're going to do it. It's going to include whatever the cost of admission, and for us, I think it's $18.
Yep.
We're going to play outdoors, so we're going to try and get the best gun that we can get for an outdoors field. Now, the good news is our field has a CQB setup, which is close quarters, right? So if we did go with a lower velocity gun, we could still have fun in a CQB environment, right? Now, on longer fields, maybe not quite as much fun if we end up going that route. And it's anybody's guess what this is going to look like. But I think you had something that you wanted to add before we cut, right? Or am I putting you on the spot and there's just blankness?
Just blank now.
Just blank.
Just blank now.
That's what happens sometimes. We get going and then all of a sudden it's like, I had something to say, but I can't remember what it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was based off something you said, though.
All right. Well, I think at this point we are going to start tallying up. We're going to figure out what our gear is going to be. And when we come back, we're going to say definitively, because he was $6 over budget, so that's not going to work. We're going to list the gear. We're going to list the gun. We're going to talk about BBs. We're going to break down the total cost of everything. And just so you guys know, these packages will be available on the website at retacairsoft.com. But we will also get this gear in. We're going to go to the field. We're actually going to play with it, and we're going to reconvene. And we're going to discuss how our day went, whether we made it through the day, how long we made it, how much fun we had, and we're going to choose who had the better package, and we'll go from there.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I think we're ready.
This is our thing now.
It is, huh?
All right.
I thought, woo, in there.
All right. So we're back. We had some time independently. We haven't discussed what we've chosen, and we haven't yet discussed exactly how much it was that we've spent. So just to recap, $150 all in for everything to get you out there playing. I'm sure I've probably forgotten something. So lucky for me, I came in under budget. Hopefully you guys did also. we're actually going to get this stuff, and we're going to go out and we're going to play, and we're going to see who has the most fun and who's got the best gear, and then we'll offer it up for you guys. So
awesome.
We'll start with actually this time. Let's start with Jay. First off, what did your budget come in at? All in, how much money are you going to have to spend to get out day one and actually play?
So with including admission
is
$130. So on budget, I saved $20.
$130. All right. Tell us what you decided on.
So for my primary, no secondary, just a primary. It was a Fab Arms STF-12. It's a tri-shot shotgun. It came out to $62.99. It's currently on sale, but even with it not being on sale, I still would come in at under $150. So the next thing was a Matrix, a full set. It is a full steel goggle. If you are under the age of 18 and you're at Fighter Town, you have to have full steel goggle and lower face protection. These two happen to come together in one whole piece. The next thing I got was a Matrix 15 round shotgun shells. It's a pack of 6. It's multicolored. That was $10. And to backtrack here for a second, I forgot. It was $16 for the full face set. Then I got a bag of bio BBs, 5,000 rounds, .2s for $14.40. And then I got a Matrix 180 round XL compact speed loader. The idea behind getting this was to throw it into your pocket, have the shells in one other pocket. If you have an extended game, put the shotgun down, pump some more shells. They are only 15 rounds, so you can load them really, really quickly. That came out to $9 for a total of $112.39. Plus the admission of 18, it came out to $130.39.
Now I'm rethinking what I've done here. So
you're not the only one.
It's going to be interesting to see exactly who got what and how much fun we're going to have.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about the shotgun, which is awesome. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, go for it.
So I actually have this shotgun personally, and the reason why I went with it was because I have a good understanding of how well it actually performs and why I'm comfortable getting it.
Awesome.
So I can go both indoor and outdoor, like how we talked about earlier.
All right. You're up, sir.
So my total came in at $140. But I could actually just bump it up to $150 because Jay reminded me of something I forgot, which was a speed loader.
Oh,
so you get a $10 speed loader. I can come in right at $150. That includes field admission. But I can save $10, but I really want this item. It's the Matrix knife. It's $10. It's a rubber knife, just in case my gun goes down. I can still be active on the field.
Amen.
And I can hide, and you can stab people, and then they're out. So hopefully this goes great. But I went with Blue Mag 2.0 BBs coming at $15. I went with the Annex MI5 Airsoft paintball mask, which was $28. Reason I went with that one, I'm looking at all this Face Pro, and I'm not seeing a lot of good quality stuff out there. So I wanted to spend a little more money for something that actually says that it's safety rated, because I really don't want a BB in my eye. I don't want to lose a tooth, but I really don't want one in my eye. So I decided that I would spend a little extra money on the Face Pro. And then I went with that Double Eagle 5.52. And that's one of the reasons I needed to make sure I had that speed loader in, because with one magazine, and I think it's like a 40 round capacity, I'm probably going to have to speed load real quick. So yeah, that was everything plus the $18 fuel charge.
So you're at, what is your total?
$150 with that speed loader
on
and
the money.
The knife. Yep.
On the money, $150 on the money. So he's not eating lunch whatever day we decide to go out. So
no.
His mom's going to have to pack him lunch. All right. My total came in at $135.57. I did not get a speed loader, so I'm sure I'm going to add $10. So it'll be like $145.57. So I'll still have money for a hot dog if I'm lucky. I went with the G&G G1911 pistol, which is a CO2 pistol. I'm not going to have 40 round capacity. But I'm also not going to be limited to just a handful of shots and however many shells you get with that thing. So we've all got something different, which I think is awesome. I also did not skimp on my mask. My gun was $52.99. My mask was almost as much as my gun. It was $34.99. I'm going with the JT Delta 3, which covers up your mouth, covers up your eyes, and covers up your ears. It's kind of like a partial full face. What's partial full face?
I think 3/4 face.
3/4 face or whatever it is. So hopefully my face is protected. Otherwise, the next time you see me, I will be missing a tooth, most likely. CO2 cartridges. I allotted for 12 CO2 cartridges that I'll bring out there with me. When I run out of CO2, my day will be done. But when he runs out of battery, his day will be done.
Not really. If I have my knife, I can still run out there and try and stab people.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So maybe I'll rethink this. But I'm sticking with the G1911 regardless. My BBs somehow are $5 more than yours. So 5,000 of the Matrix Eco BBs for $19.99. So they're good BBs. I use them actually fairly regularly, and they seem to do the job. And then plus an $18 admission. So if I get a speed loader, I'm going to be at $145.57. So at this point, I think it's time to go and get all this gear and get out on the field, play with it, see how it does, and then we'll reconvene. We'll come back here. Yeah. Do you guys have any final parting words? Who is going to have the best time?
I honestly believe I possibly will, because I don't have to worry about CO2. Yes, we have the same amount of BBs, but I'm running spring. Yes, you have your knife. You got to get up close and personal.
But that just means I got to be out there and be freewheeling, because I got two options. Because I'm limited on my capacity for my magazine, and I got to carry my speed loader, but I'm also not using equipment I'm really used to. Will I be as aggressive as I can be, or do I sit back and hide? And because that's another thing you think of tactically, new guy really doesn't want to get hit with BBs. We're also not going to be wearing our plate carriers. We're not going to have any of our equipment except for our Face Pro. How much do I really want to get lit up again by BBs?
Yeah.
And so how aggressive will I be is going to be the question. But I think really the fun that we have, we're already having a blast with this.
Yep.
And all we've done is just made lists and recorded this. But I think that's going to be the bigger key. If you're excited about doing this, if you want to go out and do this, if you saved your money and you're looking forward, all the fun you have on the field is really going to come from you. Yeah, we might have equipment issues. But again, like I said, I got a knife, so I'm technically never really out of the game, even if my rifle goes down.
Right.
But at the same time, we worry about a lot of stuff with our higher priced items on a regular basis. So now we get to go out there and kind of freewheel and have fun and just test this stuff. And hopefully, would be great is, you're going to run these packages, but, we might find that, he might have a better gun. You might have the better Face Pro. I might have the better idea of bringing a knife.
Yeah.
But really the fun that we have out there is what we're going to make of it.
Yeah. And if it ends up being that we like his gun and we like my mask and your knife, then we'll just make that package.
Yep.
And then we'll sell that package on the website.
Sorry,
go for it.
So I was just reminded what I was going to talk about actually earlier with what Dusty said. Individually, it does come down to the individual. If you run into an issue, are you going to get mad? Are you going to get frustrated and upset and just throw it all to the wind? With our more expensive stuff, sometimes we run into very complicated issues with $400 gearboxes, $1,000 builds that are out for weeks sometimes, because we got to wait on for months. So it's kind of individually, yes, you may only have $150 and you're like, dang, I don't have the best stuff. Don't look at it that way. Think of it as, you get to get out there, you get to try it, you get to cultivate an experience. You might meet some people that have some knowledge to help you out. Being able to, as an individual, to help your experience, saving up a couple extra bucks, after, you get a $150 package, let's say next go around, you save up $250. But at the end of the day, it really does come down to where your mind's at with it, and how you approach the situation and how you handle problems too.
Well, I think another thing though to consider is if you just focus on everything that you bring out to the field, you forget about there's other people on the field, and that's how I met Jay. That's how I met Ryan. Is we go out there, we have fun. Yeah, my budget was a little bigger when I got started with my son after he got his stuff for Christmas. But like, if we didn't know what we were doing, but fortunately we just happened to be there on the right day, met the right people, and now it's become a great community. And we've met a lot of people out there. So, and I think having the open mind and not being mad about like, well, I don't have the best equipment, or because I mean, I'm running iron sights on my first rifle, and I'm just hoping that I'm hitting stuff, and I didn't have any protection whatsoever, and I looked like I had chicken pox after the first day. So, I mean, that's, you know, some of those flashbacks are kind of like, maybe I'll just sit back and hide with my knife, but no, I mean, it really is like, it's going to be the fun that you take out there, like, where your mindset is when you step on that field to play.
Absolutely.
So
it's true. All right, then we're going to part ways there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, whatever it is. There will be something somewhere over here.
Down, up.
It might be down or up. I don't know. This is our first YouTube video. So if you guys like it, share it, subscribe, follow. We're on Instagram, Retac_Airsoft. Find us everywhere. We're on Facebook too, Retac Airsoft, retacairsoft.com. We'll see you guys.
Well,
Peace, guys.
Oh, no? No. Hold that thought.
What if we change equipment during the day so that we can all test each other's equipment?
Oh.
Well,
Well, what if we want to? What if I love my equipment and I don't want to give it up?
What if my battery dies and I hear we're trading. We're trading.
It's like, oh, sorry, your battery's dead.
Hey, one of my barrels is not working. Hey, you got something I can use? Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Just a thought, but hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. We'll come back with this gear review, and we'll let you know what's.
Peace, guys.
Appreciate it. See ya.